Ladies and gentlemen, everything in between, we are starting this video at where we have left the model at, and in the previous episode of this process, of this creation process, I have said that the next video will be about UV unwrapping. However, I was mistaken.
How
The
could
next
you do
part
this?
of this is actually rigging, because we still want to have the mirror modifier on before we UV unwrap this creature. So we can actually start from a single bone. However, that will be pretty time consuming to create our own rig here. So what we're gonna do here is, first of all, you're gonna have to go to edit mode and preferences, go into add-ons, and search up Rigify. We're going to have this activated for this to work, and then you're going to have to restart Blender, I believe, but I don't really remember that much. So we're going to go to add over here, armature, and there's a few rigs here. We got a human, some animals, and some basic. And even though Miss Mimicker is an animal, she has a very humanoid shape. She's a Slowlorus, which is a primate. So I'm going to use a human rig here. What you're also going to have to do is go into object data properties and go into view per display over here and check this in front box here, which will help us see the armature bones. Now we're going to go into edit mode and obviously turn on mirroring over here. So I don't need most of the bones here. For example, I don't need the breastbones. I don't need most of the facial bones, but we're gonna take care of that later. I'm going to rotate this like so. And we're going to modify the armature bones for our model here. The knee is going to be over here. I don't need this heel bones. I'm just gonna delete it. Gonna be the ankle, the foot over here. And the top of the, was it femur? Yeah, I think it was femur. The top of the femur, we're going to move these bones a little bit like so. I'm gonna move this top of this bottom actually, with this armature bone over here. So, and here we got some pelvis bones, so let's also move that like so over here. And we're also going to add a root bone. We're going to replace this spine bone with a root bone, so I'm going to add a single bone over here, 90 degrees. I'm gonna put the root bone right over here. F2 root. I'm also going to change the parent of the leg bones to the root bone. And if you want to parent a bone, you're going to have to select the bone you want to parent, like so. And the tip of the bone that you want to parent it to, like so, with shift and control P. You can keep offset, but you can also disconnect it. In this case, I'm going to do keep offset. The same over here. Let's unhide the bones with Alt H. And let's parent the pelvis bones to here as well, the root bone. There we go. So let me just move all of these facial bones over here. I think the spine is gonna need a little bit more bone. Maybe not. Yeah, this is the chest over here, the rib cage. This is the neck over here. As I said, I don't need all of these facial bones over here, so let's scale this a little bit. I'm gonna just remove the ones I don't need. For example, I don't need these ears. I don't need all of these forehead bones. All of these cheekbones. The eye bones for now. I'm gonna add them later. Bottom lips to the jaw instead. I'm also going to add some ear bones. Extrude from the head. I'm going to either you can split the bone or you can do parent, clear, and disconnect bone like so. I'm also going to add some eyelid bones. Be the top eyelid. I'm going to duplicate this bone and rotate. And this is going to be bottom eyelid. You're also going to add a tongue bone extruded from the jaw. Bone over here. Also the hands. I'm gonna move the shoulder bone over here. Oopsie. Elbow over here. The finger bones. For this model, I don't need the knuckle bones. So I'm just going to delete those. Move these bones around here for the fingers. Not my favorite part of rigging. Yeah. And I'm also going to select these new bones that I added, and I'm going to do symmetrize. So it's on the other side. But I believe these are all the bones now. So be sure to save before you proceed with the next step. So what we're going to do is select the body mesh, then shift select the armature, be sure to save, and do Control P, and let's do armature deform with automatic weights over here. So we can hide the eyes for now, because that's not what we're going to be testing. So now comes the rig testing. We can do auto IK over here to test this more effectively. Move the phone. Just have to fix that patient over here. Seems like so. Ooh. Let's connect this. Ooh. Chest. Select all of these fingers. Ooh, she's doing a jump scare. Right, the jaw. Pretty nice. But we're gonna have to be cautious with the teeth and the lip bones. Because as you can see, there's some strange deformation, but that's okay, that always happens to me. So I'm going to have to do some manual weight painting to fix that. A little sniffer. The ears are also kind of messed up over here, that's okay. And the eyelids obviously are always messed up for me, so we're gonna also fix that. So let's do transforms. And now, select the armature and select the mesh, and let's go to weight painting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some manual weight painting over here and over there. And as you can see over here, this ear has too much effect around this area over here, which is not what we want. So to make this a lot easier, we're going to do paint mask. I'm gonna just select some of these and do Control I. And now we're going to take the gradient, crank down the weight to 0. Let's just remove all of these. weights over here. That's a lot better. Ooh. Well, too much weight around. Make this less messed up, we're going to use this magical tool called the blur. We're going to crank up the size. Let's just soften up these edges. Much better, but let me. Yeah, pretty good. Also the eyelids. Oh, that's a lot. I was going to do the paint mask method. Sometimes something like this can happen over here. Fix. Let's just determine where this comes from the sides over here. So let's see. Let's add some. So, ooh, there we go. Smooth jaw. Expected teeth. Going to faces over the weights from the over here. Check it. Okay, so now we're going to rig the eyes. So, to extrude from the head, like so. Disconnect bone. I'm going to line this bone with the center of the eye. So I'm going to hide the body. Go into wireframe mode and position the very bottom over here with the very center of the eye, like x-axis to and symmetrize. I also noticed fun eye rig for a blender which involves a bone constraint. The way I do this is first I extrude a bone from the tip of the head and disconnect parent like this. I position it on the left of the eyes like so. Then I take eye and I split and to align this bone with this one parent the bone. Oh, offset. Center. Symmetrize. Then we go to pose mode and we take this bone, shift, select this one, and shift control C. Damn. Oh, I think it's this way. Yep. So we select this one, shift select this, and control F, control shift C, damped track. And when we move this bone over here, you can see that this one is following along. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now, let's select the eye and the armature. But this time, armature deforms simple without any of these. Now we're going to do the weight painting. Here. Let's just apply the mirror here. Now you can see, grab this, eye moves along. Perfect. Alright guys, so this is the end of the rigging section of this process series, this creation process. Trust me, this is probably the least liked part of creating 3D models in general as a whole, I believe. So from now on is a ride downhill, as they say in Polish. Jazda z górki teraz. So the next part is going to be UV unwrapping. Is going to be pretty simple because this is a organic character, not a flat surface like a robot or anything. It's just a organic creature over here. So can't wait to work on that video. Goodbye.